Tokenmetrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at Tokenmetrics.com.
Hi, everybody. We are live. Welcome to the Cyber Monday Tokenmetrics live stream. Happy holidays to you out there. This live stream is brought to you by Tokenmetrics.com. I'm your host, Bill Noble, along with my colleague, Forrest. Forrest, happy holidays, sir.
Happy holidays, Bill. Good to be on the stream. Bill, I know we go through this whole process every single time, but it's really important to the stream. It looks like I'm playing on my phone down here with my head down, but doing something really, really important. I'm going to the live stream on my phone. I'm hitting the share button, and I've already liked the stream. I've already subscribed to the channel. We just hit 100K subs, so thank you to all of our subscribers out there. That's an awesome accomplishment that we at Tokenmetrics are super proud of. 100K subscribers, that's a big deal, and it's because of you guys showing up to these streams, hitting the like button, subscribing, supporting us that we're able to do that. Now the next goal, next stop, is 10x. 10x, right? We can't set our sights on a 2x or a 3x. This is Tokenmetrics. We got a 10x. 10x is 1 million subs. All right. So in order to hit 1 million subs, what do we got to do? We gotta be sharing, right? I'm sharing on Twitter right now. Tweet, boom, done. It took 2 seconds, but it makes all the difference in the world. I can't wait for us to hit 1 million subs. Yeah, we got a lot in store for you guys today. I'm gonna share my screen and show you guys the breakdown of the live stream today. So live stream, of course, brought to you by Tokenmetrics. Cyber Monday live stream. Bitcoin play at 60K. Remark, $150. Vulcan Forged, 70. Luna Moon. Tokenmetrics Cyber Monday live stream. Follow us on all these social media platforms down here if you'd like to see more content and get updates. Subscribe at Tokenmetrics.com to subscribe to the Tokenmetrics platform. Get all the indices, the amazing dashboard that has insights and grades based on AI and machine learning. What's the schedule look like today? So a couple Tokenmetrics updates, kind of went through them already. 100K subs, really proud of that one. Market updates with Bill, and I'm going to do a little segment to follow that up. And then we've got Crypto Showdown. Spoiler alert, more metaverse tokens. Metaverse, this narrative, I don't think it's done yet. Could be a little bit overextended. It's the riskier play, but it's the momentum trade. Crypto Showdown for Christmas. This is what people are going to be talking about at the dinner table. It's what they've been talking about at Thanksgiving. It's what they're going to be talking about for Christmas as well. The metaverse play, altcoin overtime, and then we're going to do a little AMA Q&A session at the end. Thank you for 100K followers. As I've mentioned, very excited. What else is exciting? Cyber Monday. You can get 40% off on all annual plans using the code HAPPYBDAY40. Good until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time today. This is your last chance, right? All annual plans. That also includes people that if you're already a subscriber, but you want to renew for another year, like add another year onto your subscription at this discount, at a 40% discount, today is the day to do that, to lock in that price before prices go up essentially by 40% tomorrow, right? Because 40% off is just for today. So definitely go sign up for Tokenmetrics.com if you have not already. If you are already a subscriber, renew at 40% off. All right. So this presentation, this live stream is interactive. It's powered by menti.com. So to interact with us during the live stream and participate in Crypto Showdown, scan the QR code on the left. You can pause the live stream if you'd like to do that, or just scan it really quick before I go to the next slide. Or just go to www.menti.com and use the code 7696312 to participate in Crypto Showdown, as well as the AMA to ask the questions that we answer at the end of the stream. Now, without further ado, let's jump over to Bill for his legendary epic market update.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. Everybody out there, happy B-Day 40. It's Tokenmetrics' second birthday, along with it being Cyber Monday. If you're an existing customer, you can email support@tokenmetrics.com to renew your plan, annual plan at 40% off. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, stay with us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our dashboard. We've got a new lower end plan, as well as a lot of other things, okay, that can help you make money in crypto. Not just in crypto, but in this metaverse trade. And I don't mind saying this on YouTube, that we own this narrative. We were on this as soon as it popped, and we're staying on it. So without further ado, let me also, as I bring my deck up, I want to thank Taz from the UK, Garrow, and Chris for being first on the stream. You thought I forgot about you, but I did. Happy B-Day 40, Cyber Monday, market update, legacy, fear, the virus. Looks like VIX, the measure of fear, popped up, okay, on Friday and has come back down today. Every time VIX and fear comes above its top Bollinger Band and comes back down, fear abates. Here's the bottom line. Everybody's afraid of the virus. Nobody knows whether it's good or bad, okay? And in that type of environment, there's no way the Fed's hiking rates. And there's no way they're pulling the plug on the printing press, okay, with this virus uncertainty out there. So fear should come down, and that should help crypto. Now, over the weekend, classic, right? Holiday weekend, Americans are out shopping. This is the second year in a row I've seen this. Everything pukes. Total crypto market cap falls below 2.4 trillion. And then what does it do? It comes right back up and goes green. So everybody got stopped out in pretty much everything, only to see this thing turn around and start going green. Now, Forrest on Bitcoin is going to cover this, you know, from A to Z. With Bitcoin, I'm looking at 58K. Net, from my presentation, Bitcoin only really has to get going a little bit for the rest of this market to take off. Total 3. This is total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. This is sort of my version of Forrest's altcoin dominance chart, except this is just a market cap number. Okay, a small doji for this week, and I'm wondering if total crypto market cap is stable this week, whether or not this thing can take off the way it did back in January. That's right. Total crypto or total altcoin market cap this time, I think, can go through 1 trillion if we get some decent numbers out of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, let's look at a chart that I brought up before, and it continues to get better. ETH versus Bitcoin. So there's a big triangle, and this is a 4-hour chart. So there's a small triangle, and now there's a diamond. I would expect that based on these formations, that ETH is getting ready to sharply outperform Bitcoin. Now, in the past, we've talked about it. It's been an overarching idea, kind of high level. And now we're sort of getting granular and tactical with it. So I think it is time for ETH to really start moving. Because if it's ever gonna, it's gonna now. Now, ETH on the 4-hour chart, noticing basically an either odd or an unusual number, 4,444. Okay, if ETH can take that level out, ETH can start moving probably to 4,900. Okay, notice that Forrest is going to give you some really cool levels on ETH that I think may help you be more optimistic on the market. Now, I have the ETH 89-minute chart. Now, this may not be relative if you're looking at this a week from now, but maybe not. Because what does this look like? This looks like a miniature version of the COVID trade from March of 2020, right? News comes out, everything crashes, it goes down, and then it comes right back. Now, back in 2020, it took the market a lot longer to come back. But in this particular case, right, the COVID crash gets unwound quickly. That's because uncertainty brings in the Fed. So what went down one way, based and turned around and went back up the same way. Speed, magnitude, and direction. So they killed ETH. They stopped everyone out. They made everyone upset. Everybody is shopping in the Western world, looking at their phone going, oh no, I'm getting stopped out. Then they walk in on Monday and it's higher. Unfortunately, crypto loves to do this. And this chart puts that in perspective, right? All the way down, base, all the way back. Now, looking at ETH, 4K has held multiple times, right? So ETH doesn't really have an interest in going below 4K. The question is, can ETH move through this 4,300, 4,400 area? One way I think it could be interesting to play crypto, if you're not in the mood to deal with this, like, constant, 15% moves where you get stopped out, is to take a look at crypto equities. Galaxy Digital got absolutely hammered from 44 down to 28. 28 was a prior high from September. So I looked at this. I'm like, hey, this could be bullish or bearish. But now that Galaxy is back at 28, I think you seriously have to look at this on the long side, right? If Bitcoin breaks out, Galaxy will break out. If Bitcoin doesn't break out and it's gaming and metaverse, Galaxy's got a lot of room to recover. So Bitcoin only has to do something halfway decent for Galaxy to turn around. Coinbase's stock, Coin, think about this. They're going to launch NFTs. Okay. The holidays are coming. People are going to open Coinbase accounts, or they're going to want to get on their Coinbase accounts, tax loss sell what doesn't work, and get involved in what does. Decentraland is on Coinbase, and we'll have more on Coinbase indices later. In the meantime, Coinbase's stock, by knifing through 320, has probably created what I would call a liquidity event, where Coinbase flushes everybody out, the stock gets flushed out, buyers come in, make green candles, and then if it turns around and takes out like 330, okay, or 340, then Coinbase's stock can really start moving. So it looks like people out there are buying the dip. Now, Twitter, really interesting. Jack, who, remember, CEO of Twitter, or former CEO of Twitter, spoke at Bitcoin Miami. A lot of people don't notice, but he's a huge Bitcoin guy. And he's moving over to a subsidiary of his, Square, to run that place. Square is going to get really into Bitcoin. And my prediction is that Jack is going to want Twitter to be a portal to Bitcoin the way Zuckerberg wants Facebook to be a portal to the metaverse. So playing Twitter, talked about this last week, playing Twitter could be a way to play the crypto social media crossover, okay? And it's a little bit easier to bet on Jack and Square and his group than it is to think about Zuckerberg and Facebook. So Twitter gapped up this morning and came back down. This could be a really interesting long play because, after all, Twitter was at 80, okay, back earlier in the year. And it could, and Jack's not going over to Square to not talk about Bitcoin. Okay, Algorand, a layer one. It looks like the layer ones are going to wake up. There's pretty good risk reward. We talked about Algorand at $1.60. Okay, it popped through $1.75, 3 green candles in a row after running stops last night. Algorand, okay, could move back to 260. Okay, it only takes 1 or 2 announcements somewhere in these layer ones to get everything and everybody going again. Chainlink inside of its range. So the big question is, or maybe it's not a big question, maybe it's a small question. How do you play DeFi in this environment? Yeah, we're talking about the metaverse, but DeFi is not going away. Well, I think DeFi is going to concentrate itself, right? DeFi is going to narrow, and there are going to be some winners. Like, I'll give you a hint. Avalanche, obviously, right? The whole Avalanche ecosystem, as I'm giving you this presentation, if you look on Tokenmetrics rankings for the Avalanche ecosystem, yes, you can sort by ecosystems. I just happened to glance, and the Avalanche ecosystem was up 20% today. Every coin was up 20%. Now with Chainlink is something that benefits from DeFi. And when everybody is exuberant, Chainlink is at 37. And when everybody gives up on DeFi, Chainlink goes to 23. So it's probably time to buy Chainlink, non-investment advice. And it's also time to probably find something in DeFi like Algorand, and a coin we'll show you in a minute, where you want to say, okay, how do I get exposure to this so that if DeFi has a run up, I'm involved. Now, obviously, one answer is Avalanche. So we had support at 50% around 102. That's the 50% retracement of the recent run up. I think Avalanche is headed for 117. And if Avalanche takes out 117, doing some basic Elliott wave, perhaps, if it takes out 117, I think it's taken out 150. Okay. So you can either get involved in Avalanche and use 90 as a stop, or you can just wait till it gets above 117 and then buy the next dip. So if you want to sit it out and wait for it to prove itself, that's one way to do it. Or if you want to just, sort of grab it now, all right, bet that the whole ecosystem is going to go higher, bet that they did enough over the weekend to flush people out. I don't know that they flushed everybody out in Avalanche. I think there's more dip buyers out there. In either case, 117 is a key level. Now, again, speaking of the Avalanche ecosystem, speaking of Tokenmetrics Cyber Monday, this is what I get when I search the AVAX ecosystem. I just say, give me the highest ranked coins in the AVAX ecosystem. Now look to the left. Look at the market cap rankings. Some of them are 600, 300, right? Trader Joe is at 224. If you're looking for small cap coins in the Avalanche universe, or you're looking for big cap coins, because if you look all the way over to the right, you'll see the market caps there, and you can sort whether you want to see the big coins or the small coins. Now, we don't recommend small coins unless you really know what you're doing. But the point is, if you're out there going, gee, I've heard of Avalanche, and other guys on YouTube have talked about it, but how do I get involved? How do I follow it? How do I figure out what's going on? Well, you can look at total value locked. And for Avalanche on DeFi Llama, you can watch Avalanche's chart, and you can watch the coins inside the ecosystem using our sponsor, Tokenmetrics.com. Polkadot refuse to stop talking about Polkadot. 38 was support, so naturally they had to go down to 33, stop everyone out, make everybody upset, only to turn around and take it back up again. In my opinion, Polkadot may be headed for 43 based on this chart, and if it takes out 43, 58 is next. The interoperability trade, the data management for DeFi and the metaverse trade, which no one is talking about, all right? These are the catalysts that could help drive big altcoin market cap, okay, if we can get like another push in ETH or another push in Bitcoin. It takes a little bit to get a lot of movement out of some of these coins where everyone just got stopped out. Near, same thing, right? Talked about support at 9. It went to 8, blew below 8, stopped everyone out. This is a 4-hour chart, okay? Everybody is upset. And then what happens? It probably goes from 8 to 10.3. And if it takes out 10.3, then you're going to get the rally that so many people have talked about getting in this layer 1 name. In other words, all the layer 1s to me look like they're poised to move higher. The question is the catalyst going to show up? Okay. Now, the good news is we're talking about it, not knowing if it's a catalyst will show up. Or if you want to be positive, you could say we're talking about it before the catalyst shows up. That's when we want to talk to you, because that's how you make money. You got to get in before it moves, or you got to jump on it when it moves. But the best time to do layer ones, is when no one's talking about layer ones, right? Luna, speaking of no one talking about it, is DeFi dead? Well, DeFi is not exactly doing well across the board, but I understand Luna is a great place to get yield on stable coins. Okay. Luna was doing nothing for a while. Then it all of a sudden went green like 3 days in a row as the rest of the market was doing stop fishing. So I'm wondering if Luna is not in this upward sloping accumulation cone. What's an accumulation cone, you're asking? Well, what crypto does is I've noticed in 2021, it'll kind of bounce around in an upward sloping manner, okay, almost in like a tunnel. And then when it breaks through the top of the tunnel is when things go. So if the DeFi future is only going to be in the hands of like a couple coins, Luna could be one of those coins. Now let's use our imagination. 48 to 51 has been resistance in Luna. 60 may also be a level that could create some pause. But if Luna really breaks out, right? In other words, if the DeFi trade narrows into a couple coins, okay, theoretically, Luna could hit 100. Now, is that a prediction? It's not investment advice. Let's put it that way. Okay, but in Luna, you might be able to get involved, put the stop just below 50, and see if the risk reward can take it up to 100. If you put the stop at 47.5 and you get stopped out, oh, well, you got stopped out. But if you don't get stopped out, theoretically, upside is 60 and then possibly 120. So if there's going to be a moonshot in DeFi, it may be in this coin. Now, Solana, one of two things is happening here. First of all, Solana was at good support at 180. It was there 2 days ago as of this recording. So Solana hits a level we talked about at 180. Solana has traded around 180 multiple times going back to September. So I would think the worst case scenario is that Solana is in a range between 180 and 280. So after two tests of the bottom of the range in November, it's time to revisit the top end of the range at 280. So if you're getting long at, 210, not investment advice, the stop can be below 180, and you might be able to get a ride to 280 or possibly ride a bigger breakout. Because I get this feeling that whoever was going to sell Solana would have done so already, right? In other words, the people who own Solana are like, okay, we sold a little and we're going home for the holidays. And if this is left for illiquid buyers, okay, this is an illiquid market where big buyers have to come in and show that they own Solana. Like it's called window dressing, that they have Solana on their books. They're going to come in now. That's what could drive Solana to 280. Now, Kusama is waking up while everyone was getting stopped out over the weekend. Interesting that if Kusama gets above 366, you might be able to buy the next dip and get to 588. Remember, Polkadot parachain auction news is coming, and the interoperability narrative has virtually disappeared. Now, it's one thing to have metaverse as a sector leader or sector leadership, but that also can provide an opportunity because everybody's forgotten about ETH, Solana, DOT, Kusama, Cosmos, etc. Right? When is the time to do the trade? When no one's talking about the trade, or when everybody thinks the trade is over. More on that later on Metaverse. Don't go anywhere. Phantom got above 250, faked me out, thought it was going to 4. Then they stopped everyone out. Now they're doing this whole deal I've talked about on live streams where there's a consolidation just below resistance. So here's the resistance, and there's all this consolidation below it. And those are your opportunities to get involved, okay? Because if Phantom takes out 250, it's probably going to 4. So if Phantom is trading at 217 and you can put a stop in below 180, yeah, that's a big percentage risk. But if the upside is $4 or more, not investment advice, the market is giving you an opportunity on Cyber Monday. It's a little bit like a kind of a Black Friday sale, except it's a little easier today because some of these layer ones are kind of in the green, and you don't have to be like, oh God, I got to catch the falling knife, right? Buyers have already showed up in this stuff. They're already there. So it's like, oh, well, okay. I'll join in with the buyers. I'll take a shot. Let's look at Kraken weekly index. You're like, so Bill, did you do an Excel chart to make this? No. This comes from our artificial intelligence, which takes our top ranked coins and uses them to build a traditional portfolio so that you can get some diversification and get some ideas as to where our AI wants to allocate the most money. And no indice or no group, because we break it down by exchange, Kraken has been hot. So when we show the Kraken indices on YouTube, people perk up and they get real interested. So if you're into Kraken, listen up, because these portfolios have been some of the top performers. What's in the new Kraken weekly index? Well, how about Sandbox, Decentraland, Aavegotchi, and Engine Coin? So I know I said a diversified portfolio, but what is our AI picking? Our AI is picking mostly metaverse. So when I tell you that Tokenmetrics owns the metaverse theme, here it is, because it's the humans and the AI. And one of the reasons why we want you to use that coupon code is you can get weekly, monthly, and daily indices. Folks, this is the bread and butter of what I do every day to bring you the market update. Now, Ocean, data for DeFi, okay, that's one of the non-metaverse coins in there, forming an accumulation cone. So our AI repeatedly is picking up coins that are making these accumulation cones. Now, does an accumulation cone mean it's going to moon 5 minutes after I get off the stream? Does it mean you buy something in an accumulation cone and are retired by Friday? Most likely, no. But if you research the coin, it shows up in the indices, and you want to take a shot, okay, for say something you could maybe hodl and not get blown out of, then these things are worth a look, particularly if they're in the index for say a week. Now, crypto.com, a 4-hour chart. So this thing goes from 50 cents to $1 in a couple of days, then comes back to test 66 cents, which happens to be the 62% retracement of the last big run up. This is available on Coinbase, and I think there's a legit shot that either crypto.com is either going to go to 60 cents, that's one scenario, or it's going to base, turn around, and either go to 93 or $1.41. So at 75 cents, you can put the stop below 66 cents and get involved for a possible move from 75 cents to $1.40. Because if you get what we're thinking you could in Bitcoin or Ethereum, the whole space could take off. Kraken daily index. So yes, you can get these groupings by the day or the week. Zcash, Decentraland, Sandbox. Okay, in my opinion, I'm going to be straight with you. Decentraland and Sandbox are almost like the new Bitcoin and Ethereum, except for the metaverse, right? When I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, we want to own big cap metaverse for another momentum wave higher. Zcash, again, non-metaverse coins in the index, what are they doing? accumulation cones, except in Zcash, it broke out and then came back down to the top. And we're going to see if it's going to turn around and continue higher. Headed into the end of the year, it's just so hard for me to believe that the whole future of money trade is going to be just Bitcoin. There's got to be somebody else in there. Zcash may be one of them because it moved from 150 to 300. So it honestly, it's only a bull market if you can buy a dip. So if you buy the dip and you make money, then it's still a bull market in Zcash. Now, again, going back, how did I know to look at Zcash? Well, I saw it in our Tokenmetrics indices, right? Coinbase Pro Weekly, Crypto.com, which we talked about, Decentraland, Gala, and we've also talked about securities token player Polymath. Okay, so again, Decentraland is in there, and I think in Metaverse, you're looking to get long on dips. One hint for the rest of the presentation. When it comes to mega trends, and I do believe the Metaverse is a mega uptrend, you got to get long when you can. Like you see it down and you're like, oh, I got time to buy it. Actually, not investment advice, but no, you don't. If it's really a mega trend, you have to buy it when it kind of has an awful day. So if ETH is up 3% and Decentraland or Metaverse is down, I vote to grab it and put a stop in. Like when they're running stops in the Metaverse, that's when you got to grab it. You got less time than you think, and you have to buy it when it looks bad. Okay, GHST, possibly doing a kind of triangular consolidation. I'm guessing this can break out near December 6th if the same pattern persists. Okay, again, buy it when it's going down. Buy these Metaverse coins, not investment advice, when they're going sideways. Okay, Deepcoin, another example of something running up and coming back to a 62% retracement near 50 cents. Okay, research coins that have mooned and then have come off, because if support holds, 48 cents is a level of support. And if you can enter this, or you want to enter it, you want to get involved in things and research them when they're down. Binance, okay, daily index, all Metaverse people, Vulcan, okay, Gala, Illuvium, more on that later, Avagochi, and Binance Coin in there. Binance Coin consolidating below resistance from back in May. It goes up to 675. They kill it down to 521. I stopped pounding the table on it. And what happens when I do that? It rushes up. It comes back down. They stop everybody out. And now it's a slow creep back to 675. If this whole market takes off, Binance Coin is going to go through 675. Cube, a Metaverse play. Okay. Kind of like VR glasses, if I understand it correctly. Okay, we've been tracking this stop, start formation, like winding up the spring, and boom, Cube is up 15% today. We were looking at it around 19, all right, and it's possible for this thing to go to 34. This could be another big Metaverse trade that's been flagged by our AI that looks good on our chart. Now, RMRK, fractionalized NFTs. Spoke with one of our analysts this morning. This thing went from 10 to 40, and it looks like it could go a lot higher. So 50 is the next level above the market. Just keeping it neutral, doing technical analysis on this coin. If a mega trend starts, 90 and 150 are levels above the market. Now, is that a promise that it's going to go there? No. But last week, I was kind of hinting that you should I was shying away from this rather than pounding the table because of how much it's been up. Now I'm being told that it's possible that there's a fundamental story here that's not fully priced in. So I don't want to be a moon boy, and I don't want you to buy the top thinking you're going to retire, but buying a dip or getting a small amount of this just to get involved, not investment advice, could help you in case this does turn into a mega trend. Because if this thing goes from 40 to 150, could you imagine where the rest of the metaverse is going to be? We've been talking about a mega trend. This could be one of the leaders. Okay, Gala showing up across our sponsor, Tokenmetrics.com. Support at 60. They dropped it down there last night and brought it back. All right. Gala has a shot, if 60 cents holds, of going to $1.25 or higher. Yeah, I know it's up a lot, but people are buying dips. They're buying it when it looks bad, and they're doing it quickly. So while this thing is still in the neighborhood of support, what should you do? Should you look at it? Should you blow it off? Should you say that you missed it? No, you should not say that, because I don't think you have missed it, right? This could be like the end of the first quarter, or at worst, the halftime of the metaverse trade. While we wait for Bitcoin and ETH to do their thing. Now, Illuvium. Oh my God. One of our fundamental analysts was on this early. We talked about it on these live streams at 1,000. Now it's taken out the next level around 1689, punching through 2,400 could be next. One note on this. What does it say on the website? Fight for ETH. Play a video game and earn ETH. So anybody who thinks ETH is dead, yes, retail is tired of ETH fees. But if the game where you fight for Ethereum is going and moving in 60% increments, ETH's not dead, and Illuvium or ILV is not dead either. Matter of fact, it's just going to keep on trucking. Vulcan Forged. Oh my God, I thought this thing might stop at 30. Now I'm wondering if it's not going to stop until it gets to 70. Thing that's funny is this thing is breaking out to such a degree that you're actually getting dips during the day. And frankly, if you look at the candles, it looks like everybody is buying any dip that they can get in this coin, right? So could Vulcan Forged wind up at 70 by the end of the year? Is that theoretically possible? Well, based on charts, yes. And I've talked to one of our fundamental analysts, and he says, okay, let's just work through some theoretical math. And 70 is not out of the question. Now, should you FOMO in at 40 and come back to me in a month and say, Bill, it didn't go to 70 and I hate you? Please don't do that. But the larger point is, if Vulcan is leading the metaverse trade and Vulcan can go a lot higher, so can all the other coins in the metaverse. Avagochi, okay, another accumulation cone hanging out just on top of support at 272. Next level could be 476. This could be the sleeping giant inside the metaverse waiting to move and really go when it goes. Our AI is picking this up, and it has been for a while. So if you feel like you missed out on other trades, Avagochi, as you can see on that bottom histogram, every time it goes up, good volume comes in with it. So somebody is accumulating this as it breaks out. And that, friends, is the market update. What I want to do now is turn it over to Forrest. So Forrest can give us the deal on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because, folks, I can bloviate on the metaverse all I want, but we need to take our cue from the bigger coins, and nobody knows support and resistance in those coins better than my colleague Forrest. Forrest, over to you.
Thanks, Bill. I'm going to share my screen here. And like Bill said, we specialize in the altcoins, right? But if we're going to trade altcoins, especially if we're going to trade them in a volatile market, we need to understand what the overall big players in the market are doing. What are Bitcoin and ETH doing? right? And we can also make a ton of money just by trading Bitcoin and ETH as well, right? Most people here, if you're watching this stream, you probably own Bitcoin or ETH, right? Or else you probably wouldn't be here, right? That's kind of the intro to crypto for everybody. So I want to give you guys very specific key levels to watch for both ETH and Bitcoin, very specific levels, right? So first of all, let me back up and show you exactly what I'm expecting out of Bitcoin. And we talked about this briefly in the last live stream, but there's this big fractal, right? So you just see I created this fractal here off of this price action from Bitcoin off the bottom here at 29,278 all the way up to its $66,000 mark. Now, if we just drag this over, you're going to see this price action looks very, very, very familiar. Bitcoin is doing the same thing over again, right? Had this big pump and then just kind of keeled over in this curve pattern, lost steam, found support on its trend line, exploded again, it's kind of lost steam, broke down through some support, in a sense been consolidating under this key level, right? Under this key level. See this consolidation pattern here under 60K. So why do I have these two levels drawn out here? And by these two levels, I mean this 3XL and 2XL. What does that even mean? Well, these are margin pressure levels. I'm going to explain to you why they're so significant as support and resistance and why they acted as such strong support up here, right? And why they acted as support here and why they acted as resistance here. And hopefully we can break through the resistance this time and go onwards and upwards. Well, margin pressure levels are pretty simple. It's a way of projecting support and resistance levels based on the leveraged buying behavior or the buying and selling, the trading behavior of leveraged traders in the market. We know there are a ton of leveraged traders in this market. So what does 3XL 59,650 mean? Well, it simply means that as soon as the price drops below, the Bitcoin price drops below this level, 59,650, traders, leveraged traders can now enter Bitcoin on 3x long leverage and hide their liquidation points below 59,600. That means Bitcoin can then drop all the way down here. And as long as it doesn't go below 39,600, they don't get liquidated on the trade. It's a pretty safe trade to make, right? If you're bullish on Bitcoin, right? What about the 2x long, 58,500? Well, it's the same exact thing, except for 2x leverage and this 29,278, right? 29,200 and give or take $50, right? This level here is where you can hide your liquidation point and still go long on 2x leverage as long as Bitcoin is below these levels, right? So what does that actually mean? Well, it means when we're crossing from top to bottom, when price is dropping below these levels, buying pressure comes in and pushes the price back up. That's what we saw here. That's what we saw here over and over and over again, right? Until we eventually broke through this support. Not enough buying pressure came in to keep our price level above. The bears won this battle. Now, the bulls are trying to push back through. What I mean by the bulls are trying to push back through, Bitcoin came down here, deleveraged the market, became much cheaper, gave fresh entry points on a very nice trend line, right? What trend line am I talking about? This blue one, you might be able to barely see it. This trend line gave fresh entry points at a lower price on previous support right above a key margin pressure level at 52,700 and has since been exploding upwards. Now there's a very high incentive to get your 2x and your 3x longs in before Bitcoin crosses these levels, right? So there's a lot of buying pressure coming in and shoving Bitcoin's price back up to this $58,000 to $59,000 price level. So what do I actually want to see out of Bitcoin? Well, we talked about this fractal that would show that shows Bitcoin should consolidate here and then break upwards. I would like it if, and I think we'd all like it, if Bitcoin doesn't consolidate any further. Now it could consolidate into, December 6th next week before we break out and go upwards or break out and go downwards. I would like to see us get through in the next day or two, I'd like to see Bitcoin push through these margin pressure levels, this big resistance, come down, make support on top of them, and break onwards and upwards. This is the key thing that I'm waiting for Bitcoin to do to trade the momentum. Now, there's two ways you can trade Bitcoin here. And Bitcoin as a proxy for their overall crypto market can be very useful as well. If you're trading like altcoins, if you're trading AVAX, Solana, if Bitcoin does well, those altcoins are usually going to explode as well, right? As we've seen over the last day or two, Bitcoin gets this nice bounce, altcoins start to explode. So there's two ways to trade this. The first way is how I've traded it so far. Personally, I bought down here at 54,200. It wasn't the perfect entry point, but it was a darn good one. And I bought on 16x leverage. I know what you're thinking, 16x leverage, that's absurd, Forrest. Why would you buy on 16x leverage? You're going to get liquidated. Well, I used a smaller trading amount. I used good risk management, and I just made sure that I put my liquidation point below this margin pressure level. My liquidation point was roughly $51,000. So my liquidation point was here, right? Get a little X right there, somewhere in this range, $51,000. And why was I comfortable with that trade? It's comfortable with that trade because we had this very strong margin pressure level, meaning that if Bitcoin were to break down below $52,700, I would expect a lot of longs to come in and start pushing the price back upwards before it liquidates me. So you can either predict the bounce and buy the bottom, buy the reversal, or you can buy the breakout. So we've already had the bounce. We've had the bounce. That's kind of gone and passed. Now, if you want to be a smart trader, let's say you either caught the bounce or you're patient here and you wait for Bitcoin to break through these margin pressure levels. We don't necessarily really want to go long here unless we are trying to enter a 2x or 3x long and hide our liquidation points specifically below these levels, right? Below here or here. And that would be a longer term trade. That would be something like we're trying to trade, enter this trade for like all of December, hopefully ride this up to 79,000, 80,000, 80,000 plus if we get there. And yeah, you could take this as a last opportunity to get your longs in on 2x or 3x leverage to keep your liquidation points safe, or you could trade the breakout. What I mean by trading the breakout is look at this downtrend line here. I'm gonna thicken up this line to a 3x and I'm going to make it orange so you can see it better. So this downtrend line. We want to see Bitcoin break this downtrend line. We want to see Bitcoin break through, and it's got a lot of resistance here. It's got the downtrend line. It's got two very strong margin pressure levels that were previous support and are currently acting as resistance, right? You could argue for a little short scalp here, right? If you were just kind of day trading, swing trading, you could argue for a little short scalp here because there's a strong case for Bitcoin to just kind of consolidate, right? But if you're looking for a long position, right, and you're looking for like a 2x, 3x kind of like long-term 2 to 3 months, hodl trade, wait for the breakout. Wait for Bitcoin to confirm the breakout through this downtrend line, through these margin pressure levels, probably going to get a bit of resistance here on this green level where all of our structural resistance was. And then you want to look for the retest, right? Something like that. And it may end up being a little bit cleaner. It may look like that. But that would be essentially a bump and run. This bump and run pattern is just a very, very easy pattern to recognize and trade. I trade it all the time. I'm in a Decentraland trade right now that I'll show you in just a second off of this bump and run pattern. It's a very easy trade to make. You can see it happen over and over again. You get the downtrend line, you wait for the breakthrough of the downtrend, and then you buy the support down here on the downtrend line. That's very bullish. That's a very bullish sign when Bitcoin breaks through the downtrend line and makes support on top of it. Ultimately, it usually leads to Bitcoin going higher. Right? Before I go over to the very specific levels that I want to show you on ETH, I just want to show you this exact setup on Decentraland. Decentraland, which is very overextended in terms of price action, very overextended. Now, it is a momentum trade with the metaverse narrative. We expect that this could absolutely go higher. But where do you actually get in? Like, look at this mess right here. This is confusing. It pumped and now it's kind of ranging upwards. How do you get a good entry point here when it's not giving you back much of a correction after this initial correction, right? It gave you back like 40% here. Actually, let me measure it for you guys. Yeah, it gave you back 55% off of this correction, but all of these corrections have been about 20%, right? So how do you actually get in to Decentraland? Well, you wait for the bump and run. And I'm going to show you on the hourly chart to give you a little bit more detail. You look at the downtrend level, right? And then look what happened here. We broke through. That's key. We broke through and made support. Now, you could have gone long here. You could have gone long here and then just kept your liquidation point below at about 383 or below the previous support here at about $4.20, right? Or you could have waited for a little bit of a more of a confirmation in the second bounce here on this downtrend line. Enter here, right? And then it's started to trend upwards. Is this like a get rich overnight trade? No, but it's a very solid, very consistent trading pattern that you can trade this bump and run, wait for the support, get a nice solid entry. Even here at $4.65, you were underwater a little bit for a little while, but overall it started to drift upwards. You're profitable on a trade at an entry at $4.65. This is where I entered. I was underwater a few times on this trade, but I've just been patient and kept my stop loss below previous support. Right now I'm up on this trade, and I would like to see, obviously, Decentraland Mana here trade upwards towards the top of its range. And this is where I'll be looking to take profits somewhere. And this is a little bit sloppy, so bear with me. Somewhere at the top of this range. It's tested this trend line multiple times. So that's where I'll be looking to take profits, maybe around $6.60, maybe up here at $7, right? That's just a very solid way to get a price entry using that bump and run pattern. All right, so I want to show you the specific levels for ETH that are holding as support and resistance. So these margin pressure levels been very, very strong margin pressure levels. You can see our resistance here at $4,000 turned into resistance again, got a bit of a rejection, popped up above it, and is held as support every single time. Again, I personally went long on Ethereum at 4K. Why'd I go long at 4K? Because we had strong levels. And you're thinking, well, how did you know that it wasn't going to drop through down to 3,400? I didn't know. I can't tell the future. I can tell that we have support at $4,000. I don't know if it's going to hold. I don't know for sure. I know there's a strong chance of it holding, and that's going to give me a solid entry point. If it dropped to $3,400, I would have just averaged my position down and bought again at $3,400 because I know there's strong support here. Look at this support, these margin pressure levels. Okay. So now we're testing this resistance, our previous all-time high before we made this all-time high up here at 48.60 or so. It looks like we've broken through it, which is pretty bullish. Now, what would I like to see? I would like to see Ethereum make support on top of its previous all-time high. Next stop, 5,300. We really don't have a ton of resistance before 5,300 aside from our all-time high. So our all-time high will more than likely act as resistance, right? So we could see some bouncing in here before going up to 5,300. But the next big margin pressure level, the point at which you can no longer long Ethereum and hide your liquidation point below the swing low at 2652 is 5,300, right? So that's a nice solid take profit point for Ethereum. You can look to get in on a dip after taking profits. Or if you're just a long-term hodler with Ethereum, that's fine too. But 5,300 looks like the next support level or resistance level. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you learned something, especially that bump and run pattern. Keep an eye out for it because it presents itself over and over and over again on just about every asset that you can trade, right? So those are the key levels for Bitcoin and Ethereum to look out for. I'll repeat myself one more time, right? 4K was the support for Ethereum. If it drops back down to 4K, it's probably a solid buy there. Otherwise, it may be headed back up to its all-time high at 4,800 or back up or all the way up to 5,300. Bitcoin, we're looking for the breakthrough of our downtrend line. We want Bitcoin to reclaim 60K, find support around this 58 to 59, 650 range and continue on higher. This would be very bullish and a nice confirmation that we're going higher. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. And if not, hopefully you at least learned something. Back over to Bill. Actually, we may go to our back to our slides here because I think it's time for Crypto Showdown. We've got 3 altcoins to talk about for our top altcoin picks for December. Somnium Space, Cube, Gala, I don't know how to pronounce it, or Illuvium, ILV, all big metaverse plays. Bill, what's your play here? What do you think between these 3 for December?
Okay, good question. So our AI likes Gala. The chart of Cube shows the possibility of like a big parabolic starting, but I like big caps. In other words, in a mega trend, you got to own the bigger names. And I think one of the best charts out there is Illuvium. I know Paul is pounding the table there in the comments looking for Illuvium. So all of these charts look good. And really, you could pick any one. But for Paul and for our analyst who's out there who may or may not be watching, who found Illuvium early, I'm going to take ILV for December because, again, if it's a mega trend, all 3 of these coins can go up more than you think, but I'll go with Illuvium.
Nice. I'm going to go with kind of the maybe we'll call it the underdog, Somnium Space. And the reason I'm going to go with Somnium Space is because I think this metaverse, this Facebook metaverse with the VR, like the way I understand it is Zuckerberg's big on these VR goggles. I think they acquired a VR, like was it Oculus Rift they acquired? Not entirely sure, but his vision is very VR goggle based, I believe. And like right now, if you go and play Decentraland, you can just log in through your computer and walk around like in any video game. It's not through the goggles. My understanding is that Somnium Space has the VR thing figured out, where you can go in, you can attach your VR goggles and go into this world. I think that that's going to become a pretty big play as we get more information about Facebook's version of the metaverse, because where are people going to want to hang out? Where are like cool people going to want to hang out? Probably not in Facebook's metaverse. They probably want something a little bit different, right? I'm sure Facebook's metaverse will be, very popular. And Facebook has a ton of users. And I'm not calling you uncool if you use Facebook. Not at all. But it's going to be pretty centralized. And I think there's going to be a large demand for a more decentralized version of the metaverse that is also VR compatible. And I know Decentraland and Sandbox are probably working on that as well. But Somnium Space seems to have the lead on the VR functionality. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Somnium Space Cube. But I like Bill's pick as well. All right. Are you think we're ready for the winner, Bill?
Hit it, Forrest.
All right, I'm going to press enter here, and the winner is it's a tie. Gala and Loop. So I'm over here just in Wrongville.
Yeah, either that or it's the contrarian idea that Cube actually may be the one that goes up more. You never know with Crypto Showdown. Sometimes the audience really gets the momentum trade right, and sometimes you get information about perhaps what's underappreciated. So we appreciate everyone out there for voting for us. Thanks for taking us through that. A few notes, a few things to tell you. So for our customers who are trying to renew, we appreciate your business and we thank you for your patience, even though you may be out of patience. I know you're awaiting answers from our customer support department. Feel free to send additional emails if you need to, but I am told we are getting to your renewal requests. We're moving everybody over there as fast as we can. For new people out there, like and subscribe to this channel. If you need a roadmap in crypto or you need to make money in crypto, then we have something for you. It's called the Happy B-Day 40 coupon code. Get 40% off Tokenmetrics. Now, to give you some love, all right, we want to bring you altcoin overtime. So let me just rip through some slides here. And I know people have been asking questions while Forrest was giving his expert opinion on support and resistance levels. And I've incorporated some of the questions as best I can into altcoin overtime. So this is what you get for metaverse rankings on tokenmetrics.com dashboard. Note the second choice, Illuvium. Okay. We are telling you about these metaverse coins, and we are following this metaverse story through our website. Where do 60 charts a day come from? It comes from tokenmetrics.com as a starting point for research and trading. Coinbase rankings. So you can rank all coins by exchange. And what do you know? Forrest is doing a trade in Decentraland, which comes up in the top 10 Coinbase coins with an 84% Tokenmetrics grade. So we grade based on AI and technical analysis and quantitative finance. And it all kind of goes together and give you one number for one ranking. Now, Sandbox. Oh, you thought I forgot about Sandbox, right? So the original idea was to take some profits at 8. This is a 4-hour chart. You got to dip back to 6. And now what are we doing? Consolidating just below resistance. Now, if you didn't buy the dip at 6, no problem. You know, you can't buy the high, buy the low and sell the high every time. But what you can do is acknowledge that the crypto market could break out. And even if it doesn't, these metaverse names may wake up again. In other words, if it's a mega trend, you think you got time, you think you can blow it off or it can dip more, it could. As Forrest said, you don't know. But if it's a mega trend and you believe that, it pays to get long below resistance using a what? A stop. Use a stop. Okay. If you don't get stopped out and Sandbox takes out 8 and goes to 12, you risk this to make this. Trade the mega trend. Okay. Illuvium. Again, I know somebody was asking about it. If it takes out 1689, 2400 could be next. This did exactly what Sandbox is doing right now. Went to 1689, hung out below resistance. Then what did it do? It turned around and broke out. Cardano, speaking of stops and everybody getting pushed out, looks like everybody gave up and did tax loss selling in Cardano near a technical point at $1.58. If Cardano holds above $1.58, I can see Cardano participating in the next layer 1 rally. Again, you know, this thing went from $1 to $3 in like a month. Everyone has given up on it. And there has been a trend with everybody giving up on things and then having those coins turn around and rally. So we'll see if Cardano fits in that group. If you're holding Cardano or you were long it at higher levels, it's not investment advice, but it may be worth holding on to for another 1 to 2 weeks to see if fresh buyers can come in if the layer 1 world wakes up. Casper, probably the biggest pain trade in crypto. Seriously, from where this came out, the hype that was involved, and how it got summarily dropped all the way down to 5 cents. It's at 22 cents. 30 cents is possible. 36 cents is possible. So if you have this, it's in my mind, not investment advice. It's worth it to keep it to see if it could continue to go higher, because all it takes is one positive catalyst for a breakout. Now, that said, it is approaching resistance. So if you got hosed, there's a big difference between puking it out at 5 and selling at 30. But if you want to hold a candle and have a little hope, I don't see that as a problem in Casper. Render token, okay, went from 1 to 8 on a rope and has now come back to 6. Buyers are down there at 6. This is a 4-hour chart. So again, where do you want to get involved in coins that are in a mega trend? You want to get involved near support with some evidence that buyers are showing up. Is there enough evidence in Render? It's pretty good. But again, what do I say about the mega trend? When you think you can blow it off, when you think you can wait, frequently you can't. So it paid to be patient in the layer ones. There you had plenty of time because everybody thought that that was kind of like an automatic, we're all going to be right type of trade. The pain trade in the metaverse is that you've got to buy stuff when it's still close to its highs. So if you get things near support, in my opinion, shoot your shot, right? You don't want to be here in 2 months going, oh yeah, I could have gotten involved in the middle of the metaverse trade. And the worst case scenario is you come back to me and said, Bill, you were wrong about the metaverse. And I said, yeah, I was. I got stopped out. Okay, but the conviction trade that I have from a research standpoint is to stay on the metaverse as a mega trend. Okay, I've seen this before in .com stocks way long time ago, probably before many of you were born. And I saw it when oil went to $140 in oil stocks. Mega trends last longer than you think. Haka consolidating just below support at 36 cents. So this has been kind of a delicate dance after a move from 10 cents to 40. So in Tribe 1, if you believe in this and you've done a little research and you believe in this sort of like, sort of almost sort of hodgepodge of ideas like fintech and NFTs or borrowing against NFTs, then if this thing climbs back above 36 cents, you might want to go with it. I don't know if this is something you grab below resistance, basically because it's been just sitting here. But these narratives where you're crossing DeFi and finance and NFTs are something that is worth looking at. Because again, think about it. If the metaverse is big, NFTs are big. And if NFTs are big, and what do I mean by big? Well, that's not like, oh my God, I have to FOMO into this JPEG. It's, wait a minute. This NFT is an investable asset that could earn yield and give me return inside the metaverse. Now, if that's what NFTs become, then they're definitely an asset that you're going to be able to get yield on and borrow against. So somewhere in the DeFi world, there's going to be a trade for borrowing and staking and getting yield and doing all the things you do with DeFi with NFTs. Okay, so I believe in that theme, and I'm waiting for our AI to give us any type of a clue of a coin or a sector that could cross NFTs and DeFi. Okay, IQN went straight up from $1.60 to $3.20, dipped hard, and came straight back at resistance from back in May. Now, at a minimum, this is a classic example of, in a mega trend, you look at it and go, oh my God, I can't buy this. It's up too much. Then it dips, which you would think would be a good thing. And then you go, oh my God, I definitely can't buy this, because not only has it gone up a lot, but it's topped. And then the next thing you know, buyers are back in. So it's not a specific endorsement for this coin. It's an example of a theme that I'm pounding the table on for altcoin overtime and for our sponsor, Tokenmetrics.com. Trends last longer than you think. Okay, Flux, a possible way to get exposure to multiple layer 1 platforms. Really interesting idea. Okay, not the metaverse. I get it. All right, a little bit more technical in nature, but I can see people buying dips around $1.74. This thing went from 40 cents to 280 for a reason. And if that reason resurfaces, or if new reasons resurface, this idea of being able to not worry about which layer 1 you're playing, to be able to get sort of exposure in an indirect way to multiple layer 1s could be super interesting. Blockchain gaming play has support, has resistance at 2, breaks out, goes to 3.5, comes back to $2.11 2 days ago. So we're close to support in a metaverse coin. And you're like, Bill, you're a broken record. I'm like, yes, I am a broken record, because I want you to have a roadmap to make money in crypto. And if it's a good metaverse coin and it's near support, UFO gaming brought this up a couple days ago. Watch this thing get cracked after breaking out. Okay. And then all of a sudden, UFO gaming turns around, sort of like the dark metaverse in a way. All right. Now, the volume is really starting to pour into this coin. I know it's very speculative, but when I logged into Tokenmetrics.com this morning, it noted UFO gaming as one of the sort of featured coins for today. In other words, we have a feature where up in the top right, it goes, hey, here's what's moving today. So the metaverse trade is on. The question is, can you find the right coin to be in at the right time? And I probably don't have to tell you where to go to do that by now. Now, Alice, and perhaps an example of taking profits. Okay, it went from 20 to 28 after we brought it up. Now it's back at 20. Time to dump it? I don't know. Let's see if 20 holds. The way I want to use Alice is as follows. If 20 holds and this thing turns around and takes out 28, this may not be the highest quality metaverse project. This isn't your Cadillac, Porsche, or Lamborghini of the metaverse. But if the lower quality stuff, let's call it that, or let's call it the more speculative stuff, starts rallying, then that means everything can start rallying, including the big stuff. So if you get that breakout in Bitcoin or ETH and you keep Alice on a watch list and it starts moving, it could mean the rest of the space could take off. I know it's ironic. You use a lower quality play, just like in equities. Sometimes you use companies that are speculative and not yet profitable as an indicator for the overall market. Okay, Immutable X, another coin that we think is very, very interesting. ETH layer 2 for NFTs, consolidating just below $8 for probably the 5th or 6th day. Actually been doing that for roughly 2 weeks. What happens in this layer 2 if it takes out $8.11? 14 could be next. There is going to be a second NFT narrative. So I haven't talked a lot about this because I've been too busy pounding the table on metaverse, but I'm branching out because I think the metaverse trade is going to branch out. The metaverse is going to start moving NFTs and it's going to start moving DeFi, especially if the DeFi is somehow connected to NFTs. Okay, BOSIN, e-commerce for the metaverse. You're like, what? Yes, folks. Finance, commerce, borrowing, lending. In this case, BOSIN's got support, hit support around 2.5. $3.80 can be next. And I have levels above the market at 7.2 and 11. So if you're looking for the out of consensus metaverse play, this could be it. If you're going to live, play, and do things in the metaverse, it stands to reason you may shop in the metaverse. Remember, back in 1999, I had friends that said, quote, I will never put my credit card in on the internet, unquote. And I tell you that on Cyber Monday, where the internet is jammed with people trying to get better deals than they are on Black Friday. You're like, Bill, why are you telling me this? Because somewhere in this metaverse trade, there's a metaverse commerce trade. At Tokenmetrics, we're looking at this on the fundamental side, and we're also looking at it on the technical side, at the chart. So please take a second look at this. Wild, holding support at 6, next level above the market 9. Wax, NFTs, running stops below a technical point at 73 cents. Again, what do these markets love to do while you're at the mall? Run stops. Yes, I want you to use stops when you trade to keep you safe, but the market sometimes knows that. And sometimes in illiquid coins, people go stop fishing. I know it happens. Sometimes you get stopped and it turns around and goes up. But in this case, if you waited in Wax, you saw people get stopped out. Now it's perched right on top of support at 73 cents. The next level above the market, $1.33. Okay, Red Fox, another metaverse trade, holding at support at 26 cents. Next level above the market, 55 cents. Why am I giving you all these coins? Because they show up in the Tokenmetrics rankings. Sold, okay, sitting right at a technical level at 290. This went from 50 cents to $3, and you're like, it's over, right? I missed it. Maybe not. If this thing is above 290, the next step can be 580. Okay? You look these things up on our site, and if they have high rankings, okay, what I'm willing to bet as an analyst is to tell people that as long as this market holds together and to bring the whole live stream full circle. Think about what Forrest was telling you about bump and run. What happens if you get bump and run at the top of the market cap chart? All you need is some decent price action, and all of these smaller alts can break out again. All right, folks, I'm not going to kill you today with double overtime. We're probably running out of time. Folks, happy B-Day 40 gets you 40% off an annual subscription at Tokenmetrics. Existing customers, we appreciate your business and your patience. I was DMing people on the stream. Help is on the way. You will be able to renew your subscription. Forrest, any final words for our friends out there in live stream land?
Yeah, ready for some Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we've got about 12 questions here for Menti. We're not going to be able to get to all of them, and then some of them are a little bit specific for the live stream. But we are going to dive in here. So first question is, how can Bitcoin and ETH markets become less volatile with increasing prices as more tokens move off exchanges? So that's a good question. As more tokens move off of exchanges, that can create a supply crunch, which can actually increase volatility in the short term. It's kind of what, let's say we're expecting, but yeah, probably what we're expecting. What can create a blow off top scenario towards the end of a market cycle, right? You get that everybody wants Bitcoin, everyone wants ETH, just buy a bunch of it and they hold on to it and they have that hodl mentality. And then with ETH, you've got EIP 1559 coming or already here, which has been burning the supply of Ethereum, making it deflationary. But then you've got the shift to proof of stake coming, which is going to burn even more ETH or reduce the supply, the incoming supply issuance even further, right? So that all can create this supply crunch, right? Which can create a scenario where ETH moves very volatilely. Bitcoin moves with a lot of volatility. However, even that volatility, because we're at higher market caps and higher prices, that volatility is less than what we saw in previous market cycles. Why? Because we're at a higher market cap, and it takes more money to move the market 10x, 15x, 20x, right? Back when Ethereum was at $10, it didn't take much money coming, like $1 million coming into the market could move the price of Ethereum when Ethereum was at $12. But now that Ethereum's at $4,500 as of today, $1 million coming into its market is not barely going to move the price. It might move it up like $1, if that, right? Depending on what exchange it's on, right? So we do expect in the long term, each market cycle to have a lesser degree of volatility. Whereas within these market cycles, we can see escalating volatility where it starts out, nice ramp up, and then we have a crescendo towards the end of the market cycle with high volatility. That high volatility is still less than what we've seen in previous market cycles. Is that kind of in line with what you were thinking, Bill?
Sure. If you want to take one more question, go right ahead if you have something interesting there.
Yeah. So let's see here. What is the utility of Chainlink? It seems that it has no use and people just hold it to trade it. Can you give us more info on that, please? Yeah. So Chainlink is an Oracle network, right? And the Oracle network in data analytics space, I believe, is actually a category or a narrative that we could see run. Again, we saw it at the beginning of this market cycle with, back in January or so, even back in like November and December of 2020 with Chainlink and the graph, right? Data analytics on the blockchain are going to be huge. And I say data analytics because of like graph being an indexing protocol. But what Chainlink actually does is it's an Oracle network that provides a decentralized, trustless source of data for these decentralized applications, right? So let's say you build a decentralized application and you need to be able to tell what the price of Ethereum is. Maybe your decentralized application is some sort of options protocol, and you need to feed into that decentralized application the price of Ethereum. Well, where are you going to get your price of Ethereum is? Are you going to trust Binance, whatever the price of Ethereum is on Binance? Are you going to trust Coinbase? Those are both centralized entities. What if a bad actor at Coinbase or Binance did something to change the price and you got the false price? Well, what Chainlink allows you to do is it allows multiple people, tons of people across the world to run decentralized nodes, and they're all feeding the price, what they believe to be the price of Ethereum in. And that's going to give you multiple sources in a decentralized manner to provide you with a more trustless, decentralized data feed of what the price of Ethereum is. Now that can be any type of data. So that's why Chainlink is such a big deal and why these Oracle networks and Oracle solutions are such a big deal. Chainlink did it ramp up and get a little bit crazy? Yeah, it kind of had a blow off top early on, but as the crypto space continues to grow, I'd expect the demand for these Oracle solutions to increase over time. That's Chainlink utility. A lot of specific questions asking us to dive into very specific small cap altcoins. What is the status of Tokenmetrics NFT? I wish I could give you a more concrete answer on exactly where the process is. What I can tell you is that we're taking our time and making sure that these NFTs are quality NFTs. They're not just some thrown together, Fiverr art type NFTs that you guys bought the book and you want your Tokenmetrics NFT, but we just kind of cash it in to keep you. No, these are going to be cool NFTs. We want to make sure that these NFTs are done right and done by a good artist, right? And the actual art is good. We'll have more updates to share later. I wish I could give you a more concrete answer on exactly where in the process those are, but they are still in process. We're making progress on those.
All right. Thank you, Forrest.
Yeah, that wraps it up for AMAs. I think we had a lot of specific questions today, so we'll kick it back over to you, Bill.
All right. Thank you. All right. So a couple comments. Somebody asking about SNX. I would say with synthetics, it's now or never. If it can't rally in DeFi, then it may just be sort of dead money where it sits and goes sideways. Somebody's asking about RSR, reserve rights. Really interesting. There are going to be winners in DeFi. It's going to be a narrow list. So it's easy to like RSR on an up day, all right, which it is today. But again, somebody's got to win in DeFi. All right, folks, thoughts on Cadena. You know, the easy money may have been made. The easy money may have been made, but it's possible that it turns around and attacks its high. Okay, friends, thank you for helping us get to 100K. Thank you for helping us be a going concern. Thank you for watching this live stream and participating with us in the Tokenmetrics universe. Okay, that's it for today's live stream. I will be back with the market update show tomorrow. So happy B-Day 40 is the coupon code. Last day for 40% off. We love you out there. This is Bill Noble signing off.